Well, here we are out in the glorious sunshine at Wickerman 2006. It's billed as Scotland's alternative festival, so let's go and find out what's alternative about it.
I think in terms of it being alternative, it's what we're trying is put on genres of music that are non-mainstream, non-pop, probably genres of music that other more corporate festivals wouldn't be interested in.
So it's not like a mainstream festival. There's everything here from classic rock to northern soul to ska to reggae to acoustic. You name the musical style, it's here.
And I think what we attract is a kind of rainbow crowd. You know, everything from old hippies to sort of punks to I don't know, young skater goths, that kind of thing, and probably everything in between. So you know, that's it's both the music and the crowd that make it alternative.
It was alternative because it didn't go for mainstream bands. It had a link to cult cinema. It attracted, as Sid likes to say, northern tribes of people to come and enjoy Wickery shenanigans.
I think at last count we'd something like 9 stages if you include the children's stage as well. And what I've always strived for is strongly themed stages. The individual tents should be strongly themed, but in terms of the main stages, they're a kind of wee mix of a bit of a mix of everything else. So likes the reggae tent, I mean that's like classic 70s reggae on black vinyl. Acoustic tent, as the name suggests, a lot of excellent acoustic acts. The scooter tent kind of pays homage to the Scooter Boys, and it's like sort of ska, punk, bit of northern soul. And the dance tents, I think we've got 6 or 7 different dance zones, playing different flavours of dance music.
There's loads of other tents. The World Music tent, there's the Solace tent for new bands, there's the Acoustic Village, there's the Eden Dance tent, there's the Access Reggae tent, there's a fairground, there's the children's area, there's the cinema, there's you can have a solar shower if you want.
But I think there's about maybe 80 acts over the weekend. And with the likes of Marky Ramone coming across from New York, we Deacon Mouse for Jamaica yesterday. We put some Mexican DJs up in the dance tent, and with some North American Indians as well.
And tonight we've got the sensational Alex Harvey band, the Animals, originally from Newcastle, you know, famous House of the Rising Sun. They're here, and tonight as a big surprise guest we've got Sandy Tom, who, as you know, knocked Gnarls Barkley off the top of the hit parade a few weeks ago.
It also seems to me that the main stage, the Woodward stage, is a bit of a work of art. Can you tell us a wee bit about that stage?
It's slightly unusual, and I mean, one of the good things with Wickerman is we use a lot of local talent. And Sam, the guy who built the stage, lives locally. He's designed a number of structures, it's his own design, and basically it's 40-foot larch trees lashed with chains and stretched and pulled into different shapes, and we can safely say there's no other stage like this in the country. Maybe not the biggest stage, but probably the most interesting.
The stage is meant to reflect the sort of pagan, cultish feel to the festival. I mean, it looks homemade, but it's made with raw timbers and so on, wrapped together with string and twine and everything. I mean, it's absolutely safe because it's carrying a lot of heavy equipment, sound equipment. But it just helps reflect what the festival is all about.
This is a Tartan Rascal hitting you, man, for the Wickerman. This is a place to be at this point in time. Come here every year and it'll be fine. We'll catch you later. We're checking out. See you later. I'm away for a beer and a shout.
Well, this is the 5th year, and in year 1 we had 1,800 paying customers, and I'm not entirely sure of figures just now because people are still coming in through the gates, But I mean, it's certainly going to be over 10,000 this year, so I mean, that's quite a jump in 4 years when you think of it.
There's a lot of organic growth there because as people come to the festival, enjoy themselves, they go home and tell their friends and they bring more the next year, and it grows like that.
One of the things I actually quite like about the Wickerman Festival is that it's quite intimate and that it's not too big. How big would you actually like it to get?
I mean, obviously the people involved want to make a wage and they want more people to come, but I think there's a certain scale. There's a theoretical sort of limit of 20,000 on this site, so we've not reached that yet. And once we reach that, I think it's a case of cutting the cloth accordingly. You know, you can put on the acts, you can book the bands, and gear it up so it still makes a wage for people involved, but still remains a fairly smallish festival.
Okay, well, I'm joined now by writer and author of 10 novels now, Mark Frankland. Mark, if you could just start by telling us what you're doing here.
We're a drug, alcohol and gambling information centre from Dumfries, and we're one of the 2 affiliated charities to the Wickerman Festival. So, you know, that's what we're doing here, and as you can see from the stuff behind me, there are lots of people here who want to take a few pills and powders as part of their stay, and all our job is to say, well, if you want to know a bit more about these pills and powders, here's a bunch of information, and if you want to chat about it, have a chat about it.
So you don't condone drugs, or?
No, obviously it's very hard to doing what we do, because we have, you know, from the minute we open our doors on a Monday, you know, a procession of sort of terminally depressed teenagers coming in from either sort of mild cannabis-related depression right through to sort of heroin problems, what have you. So it doesn't sort of endear you to the whole idea of drugs when you're involved in that work.
First Base isn't just about people who use drugs, it's also for other people as well, isn't it?
No, we work predominantly with families who are affected. So it's either a son or a daughter or a grandson or a husband or a wife. Obviously when you start working with them, they tend to bring the individual themselves in to see us. But as an information centre, obviously we see everybody, you know.
You're also an established author in your own right, so how did you come to be involved with First Base?
Well, it was actually First Base came out of a book called The Cull, which I wrote in 2001, which is all about the kind of escalating heroin crisis in Dumfries. And the research for that involved talking to an awful lot of users and dealers and going further and further into the whole kind of drugs underworld, if you like. And it was, you know, once you got involved in it, it didn't come out again. You know, from that book we used the proceeds of the book to open up First Base. So the book came before First Base, basically.
Well, I've stupidly been talked into singing a few songs in the acoustic TP, so you've